press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi students, welcome back to your social science class. Today we are going to continue the chapter social problems. In the previous class we discussed a little about child labor and I asked you to think about certain things. I hope you have done that and very good if you have done it. I appreciate you. If not, you have still time, okay? If you have not done, do it otherwise today or whenever you have time, alright? Now, we had portion remaining in child labor, that is reasons and demerits, alright? We will continue with that today and then I will give you certain general information like if you find any person who is into child labor, where you can complain or which organization aids all these, okay? That additional information I will give you in the end, but we will continue on reasons for child labor now and then we will go to demerits and then we will go to the additional information like note it down and keep, okay? It's available, not easily available on the internet, but you will have to type it out properly in order to get the correct results, okay? So I will just give you an overview and then you can go and search and read more on it and help children if they are in trouble like this, okay? So don't fear to do it, you can always, you always have support in one or the other way, alright? So today we move on to why child labor happens or what can be the possible reasons for child labor. Okay, possible reasons for child labor. Now, certain families are into poverty or certain families are very poor and they have no option with themselves, okay, but rather children of their families are forced into work because they have to support their family or they have to bring in money to the family. Parents also encourage it because that's the only way of living, otherwise they will have to suffer. They will not survive, but they will have to suffer and survive. So for the battle of survival, what do? They send their children to work. So one possibility can be poverty in the family. Okay? Then there is an atmosphere around us. Now see, we become or our personality is ingrained out of the atmosphere that we live in or out of the environment that we live in. Now we become what we see and what we hear, what we read and who we mingle with. So those are our derivations of characters. What we read also becomes a part of us. Who we meet also becomes a part of us. So what you see around is also a part of you. Where you live is also a part of you. So certain communities are really wonderful. People there are really nice. The atmosphere in and around is excellent. People become good on their own. But certain kind of atmosphere is still there where children are in a lot of trouble. Where women, families, both men and women or families are in a lot of trouble because they cannot support their families. They have 2 or 3 children which they cannot help and they cannot send them to schools, they cannot feed them and in turn force their child into work or take them to the workplace because they cannot be sent to school, and even if they are sent to school they cannot bear the fees that is there or at least little amount of money also they cannot be bearing it. And on the other hand, they are not aware of sending their children to school. I have told you, if you get a chance with one of the NGOs, please go, okay? Don't look back, just go and experience it, and that will change your life forever if you experience it once. Certain things have to be experienced, okay? So you may see it in movies, you may see it in, read it in books, you may see it on videos, whatever it is. But your fulfillment and your deepest understanding comes with when you actually experience certain things, okay? Everything, your deepest understanding is with you experiencing it, anything for that matter, okay? Unless and until people are there to advise, people are there to suggest, everything will happen, but you must know it on your own. So here what's happening is parents or the community doesn't understand the importance of sending the children to school. So lack of awareness can also be one of the reasons. Okay, lack of awareness can also be one of the reasons where parents and the community members don't realize the importance of education or don't know that children should not be sent to work. Okay. Now, lack of awareness can also lead to other problems that we will discuss, but I will mention it for you. Child marriage and human trafficking of children, okay? Like taking away children and selling them and all these things. That we'll discuss when those problems come. But today we'll understand only labor, all right? Now, there are people who employ these families and other things and rather would want the children to work for free. Children are helpless there because children don't understand the society where you get salary, the society where you're earning and you have your income. No, children are very small for all that, isn't it? At a certain age you understand that, okay, work means this and this is what you have to work, organized or unorganized sector, whatever it is. Here, these owners who are there or these people who employ them, they are very greedy ones, okay? They are always like searching for people who will work for less money or for no money. That is, do my work for free, all right? Do my work for free and I will get my business done. So who fall prey to this? Children fall prey to this because children have no word there. Children have nothing to say there, all right? Now, another problem is migration of these families. Now, sometimes if a family is having a certain field there, okay, a field there, and then the family has occurred a drought or there is no rain, okay, dry land there, they are not able to yield anything or not able to produce any crop, and then they will have to migrate. So, third reason can be taken as migration. Who is migrating? The families. Children go along with them, isn't it? So, wherever they go, first of all, they are not into any school. So, it's easy. Even if you are in school, then you have a continuation of your studies to be done. But here you are not in school. So, what happens? You just go wherever your way takes you. So, migratory families, migration takes place in the families, and as and when and where they get their jobs, they do it. Especially these construction workers, okay? If you have seen for a part in Karnataka, people are known for their construction work, or you get, if you have heard about the situation in March when we had a lockdown, there were people who were migrating, isn't it? The migrants, if you have heard the news, they were migrants. They were from the other part of the country who had landed down here in the south or wherever it is. But they had to go back to their houses. So why had they migrated? In search of jobs. So they obviously may have brought their children also. Along with their children, they may have forced their children into getting into child labor. So make an analysis of this, or if you get a chance, write an article, okay, write an article, send it to your English teacher and let he or she correct it for you and then give you suggestions and choice of words or sentence formation, sentence formation, your tenses, whatever it is. Get it right, okay, write it somewhere, publish it in your school magazine or school articles or wherever, websites that allow you to do it. Write your opinion. No need, don't copy paste from places like that. Those who like writing, okay, for those who don't like, don't get into it. For those who like writing and develop this habit of writing. Write small things first, and then you get choice of words. So your language improves when you try to do certain things. All right. So here and there I give you additional information, or here and there I just speak out of the topic because I feel that is necessary for you to understand. Okay. If I'm monotonous speaking only about this, it will get boring for you and for me also in the same time. So just away from the topics so you can shift your focus and concentrate more. All right. Now, where does this migration happen? Usually happening to the urban areas, that is to the cities. People in the rural area come to the urban areas to work, and especially you see in these mining and the construction sites, there are children who are eating that sand, that mud there. Nothing happens to them, but still they are there. And sometimes it's so sad to see them. They are simply walking around, the parents are working, the children are not looked after. But if it is a good family, then the child is so much pampered that the child is not let to hurt himself. But there, you see the contrast there. There the child is happy and healthy even if it's eating sand there, even if it's eating mud. Okay. So see wherever the construction sites, if you just go on anyway, just see construction sites, there will be children. Parents will obviously bring, because they are little children, they cannot be going anywhere on their own. Okay. Then they go and work in these cracker manufacturing, okay, which are usually used for your festivals and other things. Then dangerous sectors. Now another reason is we have failed to implement compulsory and universal education. Failure failure to implement compulsory and universal education. Though we are told children up to the age of 14 have to be sent, yet there are children who are not going to school. So it may be very hard for one single person to find out all those children. There should be a chain of people who are into the mission of finding out these children. Okay, one person single-handedly cannot, it's impossible, next to impossible. If you take the whole country, one single person may not be able to do it. He needs chain of connections, network of people from different states so that they can identify it. And then make a detailed analysis and then bring out certain schemes for the children. So we have failed in implementation. I mentioned to you in the last class, our implementation is always a problem. Everything that is planned well should also be implemented well. So when you plan well, implementation takes place automatically, but the right person should be there to implement it. When the right person implements it, then everything goes right. So that is why they say, isn't it, a right leader is always needed. Anything, even for a small 10 people, a group of 10 people in an organization, the best leader, the right leader will make everything fine. Because a leader who has goals, a leader who is determined into doing something, they will obviously know how they have to take their goals into, or how they will have to mingle with people, how they have to delegate or assign each work for the people. So leadership qualities don't come so easily to everyone. Some are leaders, some are followers, some are none of them. So leadership qualities, sometimes it is from within. You cannot force yourself into getting those qualities. It is the personality that you build, okay? But you may try, There is nothing that you shouldn't be trying. You can try. Some are blessed with those qualities, very much blessed with those qualities, and they can handle like 1,000 people also very easily. It's a cakewalk for them. But there are other people who just would like to sit in that group of 1,000 people. Those are followers. They would like to only follow the instructions given by the person who is dominant. A leader means a leader can be also divided, a dominant one and a one who is a people's leader. Okay, so so you must relate this to the elections of the country also, how it is happening, a people's leader or a leader for the self. Okay, so that's how the situation in the country goes, as well as in the organizations or institutions, wherever it is. A leader who is good will make things right. Okay. So this is how we have failed in implementation of universal, that is all over, and because child labor is not only present in India but world over. Okay, worldwide it is there. So we have failed in this part of implementing universal and compulsory education for children up to the age of 14 at least. We have done it, but we have not implemented it thoroughly. Then now see, another reason for child labor is poor implementation of Land Reforms Act and Minimum Wages Act. Land Reforms Act Now why do you think this comes as a reason for child labor? Poor implementation of what? Poor implementation of Land Reforms Act, Land Reforms Act and Minimum Wages Act. Now, Land Reforms Act is your land that is there for you, and minimum wages by the government for whoever is getting employed. There are minimum wages, act is there, minimum wages are set for daily laborers, for people working on a monthly basis, everything is set. But what is mentioned here is poor implementation. Now what is the word here again? Implementation is the problem. Okay, poor implementation of these two things, which in turn makes the families suffer, and without getting additional income, children are forced into work. So you get the connection? If minimum, because of poor implementation of these Minimum Wages and Land Reforms Act, families are forced to send their children to work because their income is not enough for them. Okay. Because their income is not enough for them, they send their children so the children also can work. Now if you have seen on the street side, children sit and sell fruits, children go and sit, keep on selling these fancy items, bangles and other things. Okay, have you seen key bunches, and just children take it on their hand like this and they just go. Or sometimes they are selling flowers with their carts. Okay. Sometimes they come as milk boys, okay, newspaper boys. So people simply make them work because families have no other option in doing it. Now be grateful that you are born into a good family, okay. Just opposite to that, just on the other side of the coin for you is a difficult world, is a suffering world, okay, and we must understand that. The day we understand that its suffering is also ours, we will always be ready to help, okay. So have an open heart for everything. Okay. Next we will study the demerits of child labor. Okay, demerits of child labor. There are absolutely no merit because there is nothing you are getting out of making children work. So here what happens is it affects the physical and psychological growth of the child. What is it? Physical and psychological growth of the child is difficult. Okay, it affects it because very negatively it affects, because see, if there is a small child of 11-year-old, okay, who is in his years of growing, there is the biological function that is happening, isn't it? Those are the years that they have to grow, and you think that child is given some heavy kind of work, maybe some load on his head or on his shoulders that he has to give. His height gets stunned, that is, you are not able to grow. Okay, so physically and psychologically your intellect also gets negatively affected, because I told you in the previous class, what are they supposed to think? They are only supposed to think of the work that they are doing, but rather they will not think of anything else. Whereas if they are in school, what would they think? They would think of so many things, they would think of so many subjects, they would get lot of knowledge of so many subjects. At least they would have a thirst for knowledge, okay, that hungriness would be there. Here, monotonous work, the same work every day, and you just have to go with the flow. Now if they have to carry sacks of bags, okay, sacks of something else, bags of something, heavy bags on their shoulders, 3-4 of them, they just pull it down. Every day they are doing the same thing. The child has no way for exploration. The child has nothing to experiment, rather has to follow and do the work that is there. Very bad, isn't it? Now there are still some kinds of jobs like that. Okay, it's very monotonous and very boring. Some kinds of jobs are really interesting, especially teaching, because every day is a new day for you. Every information is a new information. For an artist, every day is a new day again, because he or she is learning something. He or she is giving something out to the world. So certain kinds of jobs can be taken into interesting or creative ones. Teaching is one of them. Then certain kinds of very monotonous work. Here in terms of children, okay. So here with this they suffer health problems, okay. So when there is a physical and psychological effect negatively, they also start to get ill or get sick. Now they also lack knowledge and they become illiterate in return, okay. So they have no opportunity or scope for seeking knowledge, and in turn become illiterates. Where what is an illiterate? Where you don't know to read and write, okay. Those who know basic reading and writing are literates. Consider the basic definition. Illiterates is absolutely no knowledge of reading and writing. How do you think they will get knowledge? They won't get it, isn't it? Because I told you that kind of job they are doing. Are they writing there? No. Are they reading there? No. Are they speaking a certain language there? Whichever is useful for them they are speaking. But other than that, are they learning any other language? No. So everything is a no. When this everything is a no, they are learning nothing. Okay. Then with this they are missing out on their basic rights of at least having education to 14 years. Alright. Then children always become a target here. Children are becoming a target because anybody can make the children do anything, because the child has no voice there. Child has no voice, and it's easy for the child, it's easy to convince the child to do a certain kind of job, and families are forced to get children do these jobs because no other option. They have nothing, absolutely nothing to do, and nothing can be done about the situation they are in. Then especially with girls, sexual exploitation is also a problem in connection to child labor. Maybe girls are working along with their families and the owners are sexually exploiting them. Some go unknown, okay, certain maybe rape cases also happening. Exploitation, sexually exploiting her can happen through the owners where families get unnoticed, okay, where families have no notice about where their child is. Because I told you, if you just look at the construction sites, children are just left around, parents are working there, so nobody is bothered about the child there. Nobody is like keeping an eye on the child. So anything can happen, especially with girls, they are sexually exploited. Then most of the children, because of the weight they cannot take in or physical damage that they have, they become physically deformed, maybe sometimes handicapped, or sometimes they may lose out on a body part doing certain kinds of jobs which they don't have strength for, okay, and may lead to certain kind of diseases. Maybe lack of food they have can lead to hunger, okay, out of malnutrition maybe other diseases may occur, all right, children may suffer, and then last they may also die. Okay. Now one of the solutions mentioned is all children must go to school till 18 years of age, okay, considered to be adult after 18, okay, early adult. So till 18 everybody must, 18 is your +2, your PUC, okay, at least till there everybody should have basic education. That is, can be one of the solutions, and then it can be taken, or societies can be made aware of things, or societies can be made aware of the situation that is going on and bring in participation of all its members, and only then it can bring out a situation properly. We must also believe in gender equality, that is there, man or woman, girl or boy, doesn't matter, but each individual or that person matters always. We must stop migration of these families and help them wherever they are. Okay, these families at least take those children and educate them so that at least they can do better if their parents are not learned people. Then child marriage and human trafficking shouldn't happen. That we'll come to when we are going to deal with it. Okay. Then gram panchayats or the local governments should focus on ensuring children's rights and maintaining them, keeping them, and making families aware that children have certain rights. Children themselves should be made aware. Now when will they made aware? When parents are aware of these rights. When parents don't know, children will also not know. At least if not parents, teachers should know what are the basic children's rights, okay, where you should do, what you should do. At least someone should be there to give certain kind of information. So because at home there are parents, and if parents don't know, the child comes to school, and even if the teacher doesn't know, then the child will not know at all. So at least either of them has to say and convey something to the child, so that the child also knows that certain basic rights are there, and you can always seek help in case it is going out of the hand. So I'll give you some additional information today, and then we will stop at this, okay. So we couldn't move further into sexual violence today. We will do it in the next class, okay. Sexual violence, we will do it in the next class. Now there is, you may note it down, okay. I'll just write everything for you. I want you to do your homework on this, okay. You must read it. Don't submit to me, but just read it and keep it for you. Now, whatever I say as homework, you do it for yourself and keep it for you. This is knowledge that you get. Okay, this is National Child Labour Project Scheme, okay. Here basic definitions of child labour is given, so you can include this in your answers, okay. That is how, don't go for bookish knowledge, don't be a bookworm, bookworm meaning not adapt everything that is taken from the book, go apart from being a bookworm also. So National Child Labour Project Scheme, this is a project where a proper definition of child labour is given, who is a child, what kind of labour they must do, okay. It's detailed, in detail it is given, and what that project says, how children have to be helped, and how they can monitor this kind of child labour that is done. So this I won't give you a lot of information on, I want you to look up on this, okay. National Child Labour Project Scheme, this is your homework. Then 1098 is Childline India Foundation Helpline, okay. So you may call 1098 if it's a toll-free number. 1098 Childline India Foundation helpline, and you have to give them correct information, okay? Which district, where, what kind of job the child is doing, whether it is illegal. They ask you correct information. Without correct information, they won't go further. So 1089 is Childline India Foundation helpline. So I'm just giving you a gist. You may make your further references on it. So they basically help children, track children who are there in case if people give them information. But you must give them correct information. Not just like you see and tell something. No, not like that. But you find your facts right and then give them the proper facts. So they will help again. Another thing they work for is child rights and child protection. So basically they are working, this Childline India Foundation is working to protect child rights and illegal ways of using children into work and other things. Child protection, basically they protect the child. Now every state has a State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Every state has this State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, okay, that is to protect the child. Then there is another government owned website, okay, it is pencil.gov.in. I want you to look up at this today itself. Come what may, you must see today. Pencil.gov.in. As soon as you open that website, you get a form to fill if you have found any child labor. So it will ask the name of the child, your name, your phone number, address, district, state, everything. Okay, all basic details will be asked in that form. It's a big form to be filled. As you open this pencil.gov.in, you'll get that form, and then there are details for that, okay. So this pencil is derived as platform for effective enforcement for no child labor. Okay, the full form of this pencil is platform for effective enforcement for no child labor. They have a scheme like that, okay. Platform for effective enforcement for no child labor. So go to this website, pencil.gov.in, Government of India, okay. Government of India, owned by Labour and Employment Welfare Department, I think so, yeah. Okay. Then there is one more. On June 12th, World Day Against Child Labor, okay, June 12th, World Day Against Child Labor, June 12th of June. Then there is something called as SOS Children's Villages. Okay, SOS Children's Villages. If you want to write down, you may write down, okay, and find out. These are very useful for you as well as for others who you can help. So SOS Children's Villages are, these are built-in villages which are there, where people are working for that, okay. People are working in order to educate the child, in order to give support to the families, teach basic skills to the parents, okay, skill-based training that is given, vocational training where it can aid them, help them, okay. And with those skills they can generate a certain kind of income. So these SOS villages are there. Certain families, if they cannot help them in that villages. Those children are taken and kept in other villages where they can study and where they can get knowledge and educate themselves. Okay, so SOS village is just like a foundation that is there. So this was the additional information that I wanted to give you. Further references you must do. Okay, I am just giving you a what is that? A blueprint. What is there inside the blueprint you must see. So we'll just I just say it again and then we may wind up. National Child Labour Project Scheme. This you must look up to. That's a project which has given you definitions, which has told you what is right and what is wrong, what is legal and what is illegal there. Okay, then 1098 Childline India Foundation Helpline. Okay, that also seeks proper correct information. So get your facts right before you tell them. Then every state has a state commission for protection of child rights. So every child has a right. So you must know your rights. Okay, know your rights. If you're not yet aware, go and look it up to the internet and know your rights properly. So pencil.gov.in, platform for effective enforcement for no child labor. This is just like a scheme that is there. So look after this website. I want you to look at the form that comes. As soon as you open it, there is a form that is displayed just to see what are the details that have to be filled. Your details as well as or whoever is informing them, their details and the child's details. Then is SOS Children's Villages. These are just like a scheme or foundation which help children and their families. Alright, so this is what I had to tell you today. Thank you very much students for listening. In the next class we will move on to sexual violence against children, and then we will learn how everything is connected to each other. Thank you very much.